For some reason, over the last few years, people have been obsessed with looking rich.
I was really good with my shopping last month, and I only spent $33,274.72.
These college dorms are absolutely insane, and we need to break it down.
An Instagram con man who called himself the Kardashian of Cheshire has admitted to swindling people out of thousands of pounds in a luxury handbag scam.
There are so many videos of people flexing their designer bags, private jets, and luxurious lifestyles, but they're lying to you. Recently, I was making my rounds on TikTok, and I noticed an influx of luxury influencers who then were exposed for faking their lifestyle for views and likes. I mean, for example, relatively recently there was an influencer by the name of Mei Lung whose whole content strategy consisted of showing us how much money she spends, all her designer items, and just flaunting her wealth. That was of course until she was exposed.
Mei Lung is a TikToker who brags about her wealth, but allegedly that is all a lie.
But really that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's not just Mei Lung, it's actually not even influencers as a whole. There's an entire fake rich epidemic taking over our culture. But even still, it wasn't like this whole fake rich lifestyle was built overnight. No, it was built Gucci brick by Gucci brick. In fact, before fake rich was even a thing, luxury influencers were showing off their lifestyles and they were actually rich.
Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a 50k luxury designer haul slash unboxing.
At this time, luxury items actually meant something. Like when you would see a video about a Gucci bag or designer clothes, it brought you to this world of wonder. A world where this item or this bag or this product that you were seeing was worth 10 times as much as your rent. But it didn't take long for it to go from being rich to just looking rich. And social media made this easier than ever.
Show me your designer handbags. I'll go first. Your first designer handbag, your newest designer handbag, your favorite designer handbag, the handbag not very many people have in their collection, the handbag that you bought impulsively.
Maybe this is just me and maybe I'm out of the loop of what kids or what people in general find cool, but is the thing that makes this a luxury item the wheels? I mean, if I really wanted wheels that badly, I could have just bought some Hot Wheels and saved thousands of dollars. So it went from actually being rich to just looking rich. Pretty soon though, people not only wanted to look rich, but they also wanted to own rich looking items without being rich. I mean, I'm glad this person was able to get these items at such a good price, but I guess I'm just a little confused at what's going on here. Like, I assume the purpose of having some of these items is to have the status of owning these items, but it seems a little bit excessive to me. Like the Versace belt. How many times do people truly pay attention to your belt? Like, that's just such a random thing. I mean, I've never had anybody fangirl to me over the type of belt that I was wearing, but then again, I've never worn a Versace belt, so I don't know. Which the Versace Crystal La Medusa belt is almost $1,000, interestingly enough. It seems like around the same time that people started posting videos about these dupes in mass was the same time our culture started to shift. The ironic part of this shift was that people are now openly admitting to buying knockoff products. Like, it used to be embarrassing. You used to not want to tell people you couldn't buy the real thing, or that at least that you didn't want to, but now people were openly admitting it. Owning these dupes became a symbol of relatability instead of embarrassment that you didn't buy the real thing. The visuals of seeing an expensive bag for cheap would stop the scroll. People would engage with the post despite the blatant fakeness. And then this type of content started becoming super saturated. And what happens when the niche that you're making content in becomes super saturated? You have to make more outrageous and wild content to get attention. So now there's this whole massive market of fake luxury items. And funny enough, there's actually whole studies on how social media is rapidly growing the counterfeit market. Like, we are all collectively contributing to an illegal activity. Isn't that great? We're having a good time. So people were buying all the fake products, friendships were forming, people started feeling like they were part of this rich but not rich club. And it works pretty well. They get views, they get followers, and they craft this whole perfect life until they get exposed. If we go back to the case of Mei Lung, her world seemed to be filled with endless champagne toasts, Hermes unboxings, and the kind of luxury that we would only see in movies or in that one Roblox game where you get super rich. It's one or the other.
Okay, let's find out together what I spent in February. Okay, so mortgage is always $8,900, and my HOA fee is $1,368, and my Wi-Fi is going to be $99.99. My card payments are $700. I do private Pilates classes, so I do 20 classes, so that's $2,000. Clubbing was really bad because it had rolled over from my birthday month. So clubbing was a total of $86,070.33. I was really good with my shopping last month, and I only spent $33,274.72. Eating out was Also not bad. It was only $5,498.61. For travel and transportation, it was $15,827.98, and it was really expensive because I started Ubering everywhere again. My total for February to $154,098.63, which isn't too bad, and I always say it's not too bad because it could have been worse.
Really, her whole concept formula of bigger hauls, shinier items, and exclusive access to products seemed like a dream to many people. But then came the downfall. Just like with many content creators, each TikTok needed to outdo the last, and she kept posting more and more videos until cracks started to form. Viewers began to notice that things were a bit off. They noticed repeated backgrounds, the same identical item in 2 different influencers' feeds, and possibly the biggest clue, her apartment looked strangely similar to the apartment in her friend Irene's Instagram posts.
Mei Liang is a TikToker who brags about her wealth, but allegedly that is all a lie. Long story short, Mei is a liar, has been using her friends, whom she now has blocked, posts as her own content while mixing in her own content. Mei isn't poor, but she's not the heir that she proclaims to be. I've always suspected her to be a fraud, but never had solid proof. This was the nail in the coffin. I'm sure once this gains traction, she's going to lose all accountability.
Many of us were left wondering why she did it, but the need for status and validation doesn't, allegedly, end with Mei Liang. And on the topic of getting exposed, I would be silly not to mention Joe Watkins. If you don't know him, he practically wrote the rules of flexing. Between being a self-proclaimed business mogul, dropshipping king, and a crypto success story, he had a lot to flex. However, for him, things began to fall apart when he asked his fans for some investments.
An Instagram con man who called himself the Kardashian of Cheshire has admitted to swindling people out of thousands of pounds in a luxury handbag scam. Jack Watkin, who appeared on a Channel 4 series called Rich Kids of Instagram, raised money from people who thought they were investing in exclusive Hermes handbags. The 26-year-old told his victims that he had contacts, which meant he could access the bags, which are usually sold by invitation only, and that they could split the profits made from reselling them. But according to the police, he actually spent the money on luxury items from Harrods and stayed at the Dorchester in London, which is a 5-star hotel.
And it really seems like these stories never end. It's like if someone opened a fire hydrant and out of it came all of these fake rich influencers. And at first glance, it might seem like this is relatively harmless. Like, it's these people's lives, why should we care? But I think it's a lot worse than we realize, and I think this speaks to a bigger cultural issue. From Labubus to knockoff products to $20,000 dorms, this mindset is spreading to every corner of the internet. First, let's talk about this whole rich Labubu situation. By now, you've probably heard about Labubus because there's like 2.5 million videos on them. Everybody and their mom has made a video about them. But if you don't know what they are, here's a quick explanation. Labubus are these plush dolls that have recently gone viral, and it seems like everybody is buying one. And because everybody's buying one, they've started to get more expensive. In fact, there was a life-size one that recently sold for $170,000. That's crazy. For this thing, look at this thing, $170,000. Like I said a minute ago though, because so many people are buying them, they've started to become more expensive, and people are using them as a way to flex. Which, look, admittedly, I'm not a trendsetter by any means. I mean, my closet mainly consists of white shirts. But am I crazy for not seeing the appeal in these things? Between using them as charms, flexing your collection, and the mega hauls, in many cases, these have become a way of showing off status. I mean, these 3 Labubus, known as the 3 Wise Labubu, have sold for almost $26,000. This one, which looks like it's wearing a potato sack, sold for a little over $31,000. Then this one, simply known as Tall Brown Labubu, I can see the Labubu creative department really outdid themselves with that one. This one sold for $140,000. So needless to say, in at least some shape or form, these have become a symbol of status. Which that in itself is fine. Like, if you want to buy a $170,000 life-size Labubu, go crazy, go buy it. But the issue comes when you start making Labubus a part of your identity, and then you use them as a way to flex your wealth. Now I want to talk about designer dorms. Every year, dorm tour videos circulate around the internet. We get to see beautifully decorated dorms, people giving dorm tours of random people's rooms. Then we get into rich territory with designer dorms. And just like it sounds, this is a type of dorm that focuses on turning dorms into high-end living spaces.
These college dorms are absolutely insane, and we need to break it down. And as your price breakdown fairy godmother, I did exactly that. Let's get into it.
What's crazy to me about this whole situation is the insane amount of money that is being put into these dorms. And the thing is, you don't even live in a dorm all year round. It's like a temporary living space. Like, I would get spending this much if it was a house or even like a long-term apartment. But the fact you're only in this dorm for a relatively short amount of time, that just seems crazy that you'd spend that much money for that. Also, most college kids are broke. So when you're doing something like this, when you're flaunting this much wealth, it's almost immediately placing your status above other people, whether it's purposely or not. Which again, I'm not saying that in itself having all this is bad, but it definitely depends on how you act and how you behave that can determine the motive or if this is good or not.
Okay, so her mother is actually an interior designer. This picture's $230, $153, $135, $240. The curtain rods, I believe, were custom made. A custom neon sign, I'm just guessing $23. Over $1,900 for that chest, and $800 for this, and $160 for that lamp, $16, $77. I found this for $30 on Amazon. About $200 for the fitted sheets, $15.60 for that chair, $19.50 for the rug, $1,000 for her dresser.
I don't know how accurate everything in this video is, so take this with a grain of salt. But assuming that everything in this video is accurate, some of this stuff I don't see how you can justify without saying it's just to show off your wealth. For example, the chair that's almost $1,600, the rug that's almost $2,000, and not to mention all the expensive pieces that could have been bought for cheaper. Honestly, it doesn't seem like the point is to live better, but instead to look better. And just like the Labubu situation, I think that this can speak to something deeper. And this is something you see a lot of with clothing, and funny enough, Costco took advantage of this urge to look rich and started selling products that looked eerily similar to Lululemon products.
Costco has these Lululemon Align dupes by Danskin for $9.99 on sale right now. They're high rise, super soft, and even have side pockets. They come in blue, black, and brown in sizes extra small to 3X. At this price, get them in every color. Don't miss out and follow me for daily Costco finds.
So in this situation, I'm probably a little bit more torn because I don't assume that everybody is buying these just to look like they're Lululemon, but instead maybe they just like the design of them or the feel or the look. So this might not be exactly a flexing situation, but I do think there are parts of that. And by the way, this definitely is a legally questionable thing that's going on, which I'll talk about that more in a moment. But what I find interesting is the question that's being implicated by this, specifically the fact that people are drawing visual comparisons between this brand and Lululemon. So on the surface, it's supposed to be about saving money, but then the conversation quickly became about looking like you own Lululemon, or at least in certain situations I've seen that's the case. And now Lululemon is suing Costco because you can't tell the difference between these dupes and authentic Lululemon products.
Lululemon is suing Costco over its dupes. So let's break it all down. I'm an attorney and I read what happened, so you don't have to.
So at this point, it seems clear that people want to look rich, but now I want to talk about why do we want to look rich? So there's a few reasons, with the most obvious one being that people innately want to be accepted, they innately want to present a higher status, and one way of doing that is by looking rich. But there's a few other less obvious reasons that I found pretty interesting. One of them being that people may want to appear rich to attract potential mates. And that's not my language, okay? That was what this study said. There's also another psychological reason, which is where if people perceive their status as lower than others, they will consume items to restore standing. So they feel unbalanced and then they buy things to rebalance. Then there's also the social media aspect and how social media indirectly promotes this kind of behavior. And this is something you actually see a lot of with fake rich influencers. Underneath all of these things, the need for status, the need to pretend like we're someone we're not, the need to flaunt what we don't have, there's something deeper going on. It's all fake. It's just another way for us to get caught in the trap of comparison, or for us to feel like we can't be ourselves, or for us to feel like we don't have the right status. And all of this stems from us not being happy with who we are and where we're at on our journey. I mean, I know I definitely can fall into that trap sometimes. And I think as social media continues to grow and people continue to make content like this, especially at such a large scale, a lot more people are going to start feeling like they got left behind. The more we see this type of content, the more we're going to start feeling bad about our lives. I mean, we could go into study after study about how young people are being influenced by social media, the harmful effects of materialism, and this could turn into an entire docuseries about that, but I don't want to get into all that right now. And actually, I think that maybe part of the issue is we have the wrong idea of what luxury is. I actually think that maybe part of our idea of what luxury is may be cemented in a materialistic philosophy. But what if luxury was actually something else? I don't think it's a Gucci bag or Versace belt or even a designer handbag. What if the real luxury is the little things? Like the first sip of our morning coffee.
This is so good. I need like 10 of them.
A text from a friend.
Happy birthday, Erin.
Or the moment you just get to spend with those you love. I think sometimes we can get too caught up in social media and we'll miss these little moments that make life so great. So at the end of the day, maybe the biggest flex is just being happy. But let me know, do you disagree about something or do you think I missed something? Comment below and then watch this video right here. Other than that, thanks for watching and I will see you next time.